anybody ask for some Ingersoll content? Well, here it is. All right, so we got this Ingersoll 3018 in the shop today. Now this came in for a general tune-up, but also a pretty severe hydraulic leak. So we're gonna investigate that hydraulic leak. That way, if it's a hose, we can send that hose out to get fixed. So it's kind of hard to see, and I think I found out where it's coming from. So we're gonna fire this thing up and see if I can see anything leaking out of it. Coming out of that line right there. Pretty bad. All right, so interestingly enough, I'm not sure, or I'm not convinced it's coming from that line. I think this filter might have a hole in it from rubbing against that line. So we're gonna spin it around and see if we can't see where it's coming from. Right there. All right, so exactly what I thought is true. Where this filter was sitting on that line and it rubbed a hole into the side of the filter. That's a pretty good one. So we're gonna order a new filter, get that put on. That should stop the leak. We'll kind of reroute that hose a little bit, maybe get that out of the way. But with some luck, that could be our culprit right there, and that could be the reason why this thing's leaking. So stay tuned. We're gonna get a new filter ordered. All right, so we're back on the Ingersoll. We picked up a new filter. So we're gonna pop this thing off and replace it, get a new one on there. This thing's absolutely covered in oil. It's been leaking all over my shop. If you can see the floor right now, holy. So I kind of find it funny that I'm putting this pig mat down because it's already just a shit mess under here. But whatever. This thing is slippery. It's all get out, dude. All right. All right, so while we let that drain out, I'll give you a better look at this. As you can see, it just wore right through. Made a little pinhole, just enough to make this thing piss out completely. So we're gonna do what we can to avoid that on this next filter. Luckily, this was right on the curve. If this was up here, this would have definitely punctured and really blown out. But right here is a little thicker. So it held on and lasted a little bit longer than it would have had it been up here. But definitely a good one. All right, so that's pretty much done draining. We got the new filter here. I am going to pre-fill this one only because it is hydraulic and I don't want air in the system or as little air as possible. So we're just going to pre-fill this thing so that way it's primed and ready to rock and roll. I'm going in with some Rotella T15W40. On these hydraulic systems, on these Ingersolls, they do not take hydraulic oil. They take motor oil. So definitely check your manufacturer's spec because you do not want to put hydraulic oil in these systems. All right, so the filter is pre-filled. We did lube up the O-ring. You want to make sure you do that. So we're going to slap this Larry back on. Now, typically I don't do this, but since my hands are slippery as hell, we're just gonna tighten it down a little bit with the wrench. I'm gonna go in with a little different style wrench because this is tight in here, man. I'm good with that. All right, now this thing's gonna get a full complete bath, but try to clean up some of this fluid here before we take it outside and wash it. All right. All right, so the last thing we have to do is to fill up this reservoir. Now you don't want to top these off completely. You want to leave room for expansion. So just do a little bit at a time. If you notice on the side of the machine, it tells you right here, maintain oil level of 5 to 6 inches below top of filler neck. So take that as you will. Just do what it says. All right, so we got this thing topped off. It's been running for about 10 minutes. Absolutely no leaks. This thing is ready to rock and roll. So we're gonna button this up. We're gonna drive it around, let the hydraulic fluid get in the system better, get out any air. And then we'll get to doing the tune-up on this thing, which we'll put in another video. So we're gonna button this thing up, call that a success, and then we'll get on to the tune-up. Thanks for watching, appreciate y'all. Just saved another man's garage from a leaky tractor. On to the next one.